The slightly misleading thing, and not in a negative way, I hope, is that this is not project. It's not about Lily Montagu's life, but it is inspired and dedicated to her among the other founders of liberal Judaism. So, what are we going to be doing in these almost 2 years of the Lily's Legacy project? So, as I already indicated before, the focus is on oral histories, on capturing the stories, the experiences, the testimonies of people across our communities. So hopefully we will involve all the communities in the UK, and obviously we can't record everyone's story, but hopefully we'll capture different, diverse voices. So we'll have oral histories, we'll have photography, so parts perhaps there will be Mike and perhaps other people taking, for example, photography of events, of people, but also about heritage, perhaps parts of the building or personal items that you feel important for you as liberal Jew in your journey as liberal Jews. And then we'll have lots of other digital media, so we are trying to make use of sort of stuff that we can put online and social media and platforms to share heritage. We're going to record and interpret over 40 audio and also audiovisual histories. There could be up to, I don't know, there's no rule really, 2, 3, sometimes 4 hours, not in one go. Usually, it's quite exhausting, but they're beautiful. But also, because we know 40 stories is not enough for a big movement like that, we'll be recording across those 1.5, 2 years snippets from people talking about certain themes that we find important. For example, going back to Lily, finding people who have actually met Lily. We're going to be collecting, recording what we call memorabilia, sort of personal or ephemera around our community. So this is where the community heritage comes in. So what we'd like to do is not actually taking the items away, but taking a nice digital photo, and that's going to be all mapped and catalogued. We will also produce educational materials. We'll be working also with LGY Netza, our youth movement. So we're targeting also in younger people, and we'll produce something that people can use in the Cheder, for example, or outside our community in schools. And the grande finale, really and truly, apart from our own celebration, is the archive collection. So the ultimate legacy is that we're preserving this heritage of ours, not only in one archive, but our main archive is the archive partner is the London Metropolitan Archives. So it's a wonderful archive, and again, they have a lot of different collections, but they have quite a few of our collections as well, and a lot of Jewish material, so it's a great place to browse. And the Jewish Museum London, of course, would be very happy to have also a share in this in terms of more object-related museums objects. People keep asking me, but what kind of stories are you looking for? Like 40 oral histories doesn't sound very much, but I want to have the core oral history about those voices that we maybe sometimes even don't think about. And do you have a story to tell? Do you know anyone who has a story to tell? What is a liberal story? You know, we have this slogan here that's, I think, was created last year, a home for a Jewish story. That's sort of our promo thing. What is the congregation's heritage? We're in Elstree. What is the heritage here? How does that fit into the liberal Jewish heritage?
So she invited me to Coleridge, and then they were going to invite some people back home, which I thought, that's a little unusual. So we get to the, obviously because of distance, there is no alternative, you've got to drive. There's no option because everywhere distance is so far. So I drove there, but the first thing that struck me was that there was a valet parking service, which is pretty unusual. That's different. That's different. So I go into the service, and of course, the first thing I realise is that families sit together, and they've got this amazing choir, which is pretty unusual. And of course, that the majority of the service, or at least 50%, was in English, rather than all in Hebrew, and that I could relate to it. There was an ability to relate to it, and I could understand. I felt reasonably comfortable. And then after the service, we went back to her house, and she had quite a few people there, and the table was groaning with food. I mean, it wasn't a supper, it was almost a dinner. And that was my introduction to, I mean, they call it Reform, but of course it's Liberal Judaism by another name. And that was my introduction to Liberal Judaism, and I always thought, not that I did anything after that, but I thought, well, if I ever become involved in religion, I'm certainly now a Liberal Jew.
I was born a Liberal Jew. I didn't come into it. My grandparents came, my grandfather came from Poland, and the first place he went to was Oxford and St George's Synagogue and Club. And we lived very near in the East End, and we all used to go to the club and services, and so I didn't have to think about it. Who was there? Sir Basil Henricus, he was the head of the club, and his wife, oh, she used to do all sorts of things, always floating around in ballet clothes. She taught us ballet and ballroom dancing, and we played table tennis like mad, and to this day I still play table tennis.